Right now, at least everybody will understand that beating Paris Saint-Germain, no, and just for the week, and just for the any club beyond it, Michel Paris Saint-Germain, and yes, say Chelsea were just a team that were lucky in that side were able to beat Paris Saint-Germain. Forget about it. That thing, it's not true. The truth of the matter is that Paris Saint-Germain is a team that is tough, and you have to do your things right to be able to beat them. And of course, Tottenham must have found out in a hard way. We'll talk about all of this stuff. Hi, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. If not subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the channel and turn on notification. It's very, very imperative that you subscribe to the channel, turn on notification, and in the notification turning, you do choose all. Over here, we give you the best in terms of football, tactical, pre-match, post-match analysis. It's never better than it gets from here. We'll give you all the updates here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe and make sure that you turn on notification so that anytime there's content here, you are first one. We also have a new channel in a big studio that we call the FMS. The link to that channel is in the description of the video. Go and tap on that link and go and subscribe to that channel and give yourself a good chance over there. So every morning we bring you Betway codes for you to be able to win on the Betway every day. So consistently, we are going to be winning consistently on Betway each morning here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So let's get straight into it. When Chelsea played against Paris Saint-Germain in the Club World Cup final, people said that, oh, Paris Saint-Germain just made it too easy, Chelsea. I kept on telling people that the tactical masterclass Enzo Maresca deployed in beating Paris Saint-Germain was one of the best that you see in a long time. I said it several times. Now, I said it based on two reasons. I said that one, if you look at Enzo Maresca and the things that he's doing, he is doing it with a plan of containing Paris Saint-Germain, but you press them man for man across the field of play, and then you go after them with your long balls and the balls into the channel with a lot of outlets. I think that throughout the game, there are two things that happen when you compare Paris Saint-Germain against Tottenham, Paris Saint-Germain against Chelsea. Now, mind you, this is a Paris Saint-Germain side that had not played a single game in 4 weeks. So it's a Paris Saint-Germain side that is rusty. In 4 weeks, they've not played any game. This is their first preseason game. It was always going to be a little bit difficult game for them to settle into it, especially when they're playing against a Thomas Frank Tottenham Hotspur side that has been well drilled and they are good, they win balls, they press and counter press very well. It was always going to be a difficult one for them. They went into the game with a game plan of winning it. Again, before this game, the conversation around Gianluigi Donnarumma and how Luis Enrique had made it look like he doesn't want him as a goalkeeper. Me, I don't know why people have a big problem with business decisions. I've said it several times. If you've owned a business before, if you've run a business before, you understand that business decisions are cutthroat. They have no mercy. They lack emotion. You can have your emotional conversation around business. But for me, business decisions, I will never, even if I'm at the receiving end, and I've been at the receiving end of business decisions before, I don't care. I focus, what do you have to do? Because you're also a business. What's your next move? What do you have to do? That's the most important thing. And throughout the game, people were talking about Paris Saint-Germain, Gianluigi Donnarumma. Now you're down by 2-0. How are you going to get things out? Thomas Frank was brilliant. Compactness, holding on to the ball, using Mohamed Kudus on the day was exceptional play. But I think that even before I talk about Mohamed Kudus, one of the things that Tottenham Hotspur has that is a big firepower in their team is the strength of Pape Matar in the middle of the park. And anybody who has been listening to me for the past 2-3 years, I've been speaking about Pape Matar, a boy from Senegal, got his debut about under Antonio Conte. And for me, because I'm a Conte fan, but that's why I begin to take interest in the boy. Covers large grounds. If you want one of the midfielders in Europe that covers grounds, that's aggressive, will run his socks off for you, Pape Matar and all those guys. He works so hard, tirelessly hard for the team. And that's exactly what he did today. He helped Paris Saint-Germain, he helped Tottenham Hotspur chase down Paris Saint-Germain throughout the game. In the first half, total rundown. And again, it was the boy from Ghana. I mean, I can't say several times here, people again will have their issues about Mohamed Kudus and say that, oh, Kudus is not on that level. Kudus is the top player. Kudus is the top 4, top 3 team player. Kudus is the kind of player that really contain a game on its head. He's the kind of guy that when he steps onto the field of play, he makes things happen. And Bruno Mendes suffered under Cole Palmer, but then he also understood what it means for somebody to be a relentless worker on and off the ball. Kudus doesn't stop on and off the ball. He doesn't stop on another, but he is aggressive. He wins duels. He plays well. He gets the job done. He is in your face. He comes to you. He makes sure that you are in a lot of trouble. And that's exactly what's in there. Mohamed Kudus or Tottenham Hotspur. Again, for me, the bigger problem for Thomas Frank is the constant mentality of being a small team. And if he doesn't take care, that is what will affect him going into next season. Tottenham Hotspur is not really a big team, but it's not a small team either. But because Thomas Frank has coached in a relatively smaller team in Brentford, if you don't take care, in games like this, instead of killing it off, you think of rather making defensive substitutions like taking off Mohamed Kudus, who, yes, is not a defender, but in terms of intensity, in terms of defending with and without the ball, he was important for them. You took him off, and now, of course, affected team and Tottenham Hotspur. And then Paris Saint-Germain came back. Lee comes in, gets the job done, and then, of course, a branch of Gonzalo Garcia. Whatever you say, in 2015, Luis Enrique had won almost everything. He needed one more thing to complete winning the sextuplets. He had done it before. He, as a coach, he had won everything in Europe. He needed one more trophy. That was a Super Cup. Now, standing in front of Luis Enrique was Sevilla. The game started. All of a sudden, Sevilla goes in a set-piece play from Eva Benega. Bam, 1-0 for Sevilla. They take the lead. Then another Argentine, this time, better in terms of quality, better in terms of pedigree, better in terms of technical ability, on the side of Luis Enrique, called Lionel Messi. Stand up. 2 set-piece goals. Brilliant. Literally, the first one was good, but for me, that second set-piece goal for Lionel Andres Messi Curicini was the best that I've seen. Makes it 2-1. The game goes back and forth, back and forth. It ends up 4-4. Luis Enrique was the coach of Football Club Barcelona at the time. In extra time, a certain boy called Pedro Gonzalez pops up. Another Lionel Messi shot gets parried, and then he pounces on it and then gives Barcelona the lead over there. So Luis Enrique, for me, when I was watching the game, I kept on telling myself that it looks like that game. It's going to be that game again. It's going to be a game where Luis Enrique goes down, and then teams that are smaller or inferior to him are not shaped up in their mindset, gives up the game, and then he grows into it. And that's exactly what he did with Lee Can-Yu, and then, of course, Gonzalo Garcia to be able to come into the game and then make the game 2-2. Then, of course, penalty shootout. Lucas Chevalier, on a day where everybody was calling the name for Gianluigi Donnarumma, especially in regulation time, where everybody says Gianluigi Donnarumma is a better goalkeeper and stuff like that. Chevalier on the night saves a penalty and then takes Paris Saint-Germain to give them a chance of coming back into the game and then winning the competition. What it means is that Ousmane Dembele was the man of the match. Paris Saint-Germain becomes the first French team to win the Super Cup. Even Marseille has not won the Super Cup when they won the Champions League. So it's a good one. And of course, it gives Luis Enrique and his boys enough to say that this is a base where we can build on. But for Chelsea, what it means is that Luis Enrique and his boys would have won another sextuplets again. They would have won the Club World Cup. They would have won the Super Cup. They won the Coupe de France. They won the Champions League. They won the French League 1. And of course, I'm adding this also at what to it. And it tells you that this is a brilliant, brilliant team that is being set up by Luis Enrique. And again, if you go onto Twitter, Instagram, Enzo Fernandez has posted Chelsea raising the Club World Cup and letting Spurs fans know that, Charlie, it is not an easy thing to just go in and go and beat Paris Saint-Germain. You need to work hard to be able to beat Paris Saint-Germain. If you don't work hard, you don't beat Paris Saint-Germain. You need to do your job. And tactically, I have to commend Thomas Frank for how he set up against the Paris Saint-Germain team and then the plan to be able to exploit them. But see, Bleacher Reports came up and they said that throughout this season, the only London team that has been able to beat Paris Saint-Germain has just been Enzo Maresca's Paris Saint-Germain. And I say it several times. Maybe people will take longer for them. People are still sleeping on Chelsea. People are still sleeping on Enzo Maresca. And they'll say that, oh, Chelsea crowd, they are still not good enough. Chelsea crowd, they may not be good enough and stuff like that. I'm saying that people, it's just a matter of time. People will become believers of the job that Enzo Maresca is in at Chelsea Football Club. You understand how he wants to play. You understand that he's not a manager that's goes in and plays the tactical way. It's more about structure, time, and space for Enzo Maresca and how he wants to do his things. You understand that Enzo Maresca is a big brain in terms of managing games and then getting the best out of players and even solving problems. Because as a manager, one of your biggest job and your biggest tasks is about just solving problems. Just solve problems. Just solve problems is a very, very important thing that as a manager you should be able to do. And that's exactly what Enzo Maresca seeks to do at Chelsea Football Club. I mean, when you watch how Chelsea played against Paris Saint-Germain, the dominance on and off the ball and how good they were, that is how best you can see things going on over there. And that's exactly how I keep on talking about the importance of Chelsea Football Club. And then, of course, Enzo Maresca's strength as the manager. See, whatever happens this season, they made us do our list of top four of teams. For me, I think that Chelsea are ready to compete. My only problem is not Robert Sanchez. I've said it several times. The Chelsea fan, I've said it several times. I don't think Chelsea need Gianluigi Donnarumma. Can't be wrong. I'm a human being. But there is no metric used in judging a goalkeeper that Gianluigi Donnarumma is better than Robert Sanchez. Now, the people that love the data can come and tell us that, oh, now data is not important because it doesn't fit the argument. But there isn't a metric. There isn't a single metric. That's Gianluigi Donnarumma is better than Robert Sanchez. So I don't have a problem with Robert Sanchez. Now, Leverkusen's absence, I have a feeling that Enzo Maresca will have a way of solving that problem. Now, my bigger problem with Chelsea Football Club is the fact that if you look at Arsenal's attack, they had the quality, they've kept the quality, they've added more to it. They've added Gyökeres, they've added Kai Havertz, they've added Noni Madueke to it. I mean, we not call Noni Madueke quality, but then again, they've added Noni Madueke to that quality. Now, you go on and you look at somebody like Arsenal in that team and the quality that they've added to them. Now, I feel like this Arsenal team was already strong. They've had the experiences, they've had the disappointment of the last few years, and then now they're going to build on it. So it makes me believe that Arsenal are in a very, very good position. Now, I still think that Manchester City in the start of the season will have some problems. Problems of Rodri Cascante, problems with the midfield, Tijani Reinders. These are all new players that are coming into the team. And now teams now are very confident. Teams have invested in. They can now believe that they can go toe-to-toe with Manchester City. So it's not a clear-cut run for Manchester City at all. Now, that's why my favorite to win the English Premier League is Arsenal. And because I think that they've added quality to their setup, quality to their team, and they are good enough to be able to play well and get the results that they want to get. But on the other side, when you look at the second team that I think will play second on the list, is Chelsea. And why do I say this? The only place Chelsea fall short is that Chelsea have brought in attackers that are new. Yes, and I can understand. Somebody will say that, but Joao Pedro Bayern, Washe goes. Liam Delap Bayern, Washe goes. Estevao William Bayern, Orbo. Gittins Bayern, Orbo. I can understand all of that. But the base of the Chelsea attack, which was Nicolas Jackson and Noni Madueke, look like they are going to go. Already, Noni Madueke is gone. Nicolas Jackson, Chelsea are really pushing in making sure that they make sales in a branch here friend of Nicolas Jackson for him to go out of the club. So it means that you have small skeletons up, players up to now. The only attacker that looks like is going to stay is Cole Palmer. That looks like the main guy that you are building on is Cole Palmer. Yes, these guys are obvious upgrades on Nicolas Jackson and Noni Madueke. But again, does it really hit the ground running? If you look at Chelsea's run of fixtures, Crystal Palace and the likes, these are winnable games. And I can several times say Chelsea should be able to win the games now. From the game week 1 to about game week 15, it should be games that Chelsea should be winning. It shouldn't be a game a big deal like Chelsea team J, then it's going to no. These are games where Chelsea should be able to win, especially if you look across the games that are across the world. So something that is good, and I expect that it's going to win. My only problem again is that these attackers, if they don't hit the ground running, then you end up losing so 1 or 2 matches. That puts pressure on you. But even away from that, you go and then you look at why I put Liverpool in third position is because they lack a proper 6. Liverpool's absence of a 6, a real natural 6. I think that Florian Wirtz is excellent on the ball. He's going to be very good on the ball. But again, without the ball, Florian Wirtz's priorities may come to play. Again, I'm trusting Arne Slot to really be the difference maker. I think that this season, winning the league comes down to your strength as a manager, your squad depth, the quality of players that you have, and then also your ability to navigate European and local games as well. Almost all the traditional top 6 teams already have European commitment. So Man City has a European commitment, Chelsea has a European commitment, Liverpool has a European commitment. Newcastle has a European commitment. Arsenal has a European commitment. You can decide to add Tottenham Hotspur, 6 European commitment, and the other guys European commitment. So these are teams that have European commitment. They have to manage the depth of the squad. They have to manage the games, manage of course. And again, the tactical setups need to change. I have grown to trust Maresca in almost any game and said, okay, Maresca will deliver. He's good enough. He's a quality coach. He can find results for you. He will play well. He will get the players to deliver on the field of play. So that is not a problem at all over there for Enzo Maresca. So I think that Maresca is going to do well in that regard. Of course, in the last few hours there, everybody has understood that Maresca is a top manager and you just can't take anything away from him. Yeah, as an opponent, you can't take anything away from them. See, when you look at the Chelsea midfield, I'm beginning to ask myself, say, how is Enzo Maresca going to set up? Because it looks as if Romeo Lavia is back into the team. I say, all of the images about Romeo Lavia on Instagram, Romeo Lavia on Snapchat, and everything in some points clearly to the fact that Romeo Lavia is fit and he's going to be able to play in almost every game. He will be willing to play in some matches. So if Romeo Lavia is fit, then you're expecting him to play. So it means that now this season, Chelsea can switch into a midfield solid 3 or switch into a midfield 2 with Caicedo and Enzo, can play with André Santos. And I think that it's a team in matches. André Santos is going to be a constant in the team because in certain games where you want to rest the players, you want to bring André Santos or you want to bring Dario Sugo on and stuff like that. I've also seen Wesley Fofana back on the training ground and now with Chelsea for training. Again, don't sleep on him. I think Wesley is going to be very important. After that surgery, a lot of the people that I've spoken to have medical background say that Wesley Fofana is really going to be the guy next season because all the surgeries that he has to do, Chelsea have allowed him to rest. So it was almost at the tail end of a couple of games, about 5 more games in last season. That's when Enzo Maresca said, Massa, me more games to go and sit somewhere. And he has rested in Club World Cup, he didn't play, gone through rehabilitation, even in preseason games, he didn't play. And the plan was to rest him to come and play in the game opener. And I think saying the season opener, maybe he won't play West Fofana, but then he will bring him in and then subsequently he plays a branch of West Fofana in the games now as well born. So another very, very important player, branch of West Fofana, and what he gives to the team in terms of what Chelsea want to do going forward. I know constantly people ask me what's happening with Xavi Simons. I've explained in the earlier video, said Chelsea will do a deal for Xavi Simons. No need for anybody to stress. It's just a matter of time. It's going to happen. In fact, I've said several times that I believe from the sources in Germany and all across it, Chelsea have already finalized the deal for Xavi Simons. And when everything is almost done. But then again, what is left for Chelsea wanting to find a replacement for a branch of Xavi to sell a branch of Christopher Nkunku, and then of course they can go onto the market and then make the purchases that they have to make over there. And it's very, very important that they get that job done for Chelsea Football Club and in that regard. It's important. Say Chelsea good news for Football Club Barcelona, and then you make what we heard, and they say Barcelona all of a sudden they've gotten an excellent news. Now the news is that Selbe Kaya Abrana Barcelona Marc-Andre ter Stegen was going to do his surgery. The plan was that Barca were going to raise money. In fact, for a club like Football Club Barcelona, it's about raising money. Maybe a club they need to raise money. Money in the sense of run a club, cuts down operational costs, and then also make sure say at the end they be able to register for players. Now Barca have had certain critical players because even in pre-season, when the likes of Abrantia Nico Williams said he wasn't going to sign for Barcelona, the bigger concern was the fact that Football Club Barcelona did not have the means to register Abrantia Xavi Simons. So how are you going to register him? Do you have the money? Can you show him proof of registration? He told Barcelona, said, if you want to register me as a player there, then make sure, say, we sign a contract that says that I will go for free if you are not able to register me. Because the thing is that you may say that you want me to go at the same price you bought me. But what if the clubs are not available and they've done their purchases and they don't have space for me at that point in time? It is only a club that doesn't have any financial commitment that would want to take me to that club. So if you say you truly can register me, then let's make sure that we sign this contract. Of course, Barca declined it. Of course, business-wise, it was going to be very stupid. So Barca were going to accept such, a move from Abrante's friend Nico Williams. Now they've moved on from him. The registration problem has still been there. People have asked questions. Say, Barca won the first game on Sunday. Today is Wednesday here in Ghana. As I'm shooting a video, just a little over 11 p.m. I'm shooting video. It's still something that's Barca have not registered their players. Wow, big news did come when Marc-Andre ter Stegen went on to do that surgery. The conversation was that, can Barca get Marc-Andre ter Stegen to sign that medical declaration form and data for them to send to La Liga for them? Now, if they're able to do that, can they also convince La Liga for them to say it is a long-term injury, which is between 4 to 5 months and above? Can they do that? Would they be able to do that? So it was a big head-up. First one, before Marc-Andre ter Stegen interview, surgery, he had come out, told the whole world and the people that follow him, say he has spoken to the doctors, Emilio Leglis and those that did the surgery. They are saying that it is just a 3-month layoff. He is not going to be out for an extended period of time. Barca fans and relax. He will come back and come and man the post for them. But for Barcelona, that was a stab in the back, because Argentina, you are telling us that you are going to be back in just 3 months when we need that space to do registration, because you are not going to come back at that point in time. We are saying that you are going to be out for 5 months. Now, I love how Barca manages the situation, not particularly forcing to go into war with Marc-Andre ter Stegen and then reply him on social media and stuff like that. What Barcelona did was that, fine, go ahead, go and do your surgery. Put the correct surgery. Immediately you do the surgery, we know that you can't play. Then we will work on convincing you. When Marc-Andre ter Stegen went to do the surgery, Barcelona were out of Spain. He returned back to Spain. In fact, they were not even in Europe. Barca waited and they met him. We had a story of how Barca were trying to contact Marc-Andre ter Stegen. They couldn't find him. They were trying to get him to sign the contract. They couldn't find him. And of course, because a legal document, if Marc-Andre ter Stegen doesn't give the power of the attorney to Barcelona to take the document to La Liga for that, there was no way they were going to be able to send it to La Liga for them. So how are they going to go on to go and send that document to La Liga for La Liga to be able to get some of the look at the document and say, okay, fine, Marc-Andre ter Stegen can stay up for 5 months, can stay up for 6 months and stuff like that. How was that going to be done? So that went on for a very long time until, of course, Barca managed to get Marc-Andre ter Stegen, put out a statement that, of course, he has understood with the club, the captains in Phoenix, and then Barca sent the data and everything to the La Liga committee that's in charge of the medical documents now. When they sent it over, the La Liga for said they understand it fits the requirements for My Friend Football Club Barcelona. Now that means that it gives Barca huge advantage. It gives them huge advantage in the sense that now they can go on and register the players that they want to register. Of course, first off, Juan Garcia. They need to find a way to register Juan Garcia, and that is the first thing that I'm hearing. Say Football Club Barcelona would want to do, to go in there, register Juan Garcia as the number 1 goalkeeper. Then, of course, Marcus Rashford also has to be registered, especially when now that means that Barca will get some free space. Also, the fact that Barca will be playing most away games from now to the Spotify Camp Nou is done, so that right after that, all the money you'll be as a club will come into their pockets. Such an underrated piece of smartness in terms of managing of the club from Juan Laporte, and for him to be able to do that job is brilliant. So it looks as if things are going in the right direction for Football Club Barcelona. Now they are going to be able to register more players, especially starting with Juan Garcia. When they are done with Juan Garcia, it means that they can focus on Marcus Rashford, because now there's the absence of Robert Lewandowski. Barca will need a proper out-and-out center for them. The only person closest to what Robert Lewandowski can give them as a center forward team, it's not Abrante's friend Ferran Torres, it's not Fermin Lopez, it's not even Dani Olmo, because these are false nines at best. Now it's Abrante's friend of Marcus Rashford, who gives them that feel and vibe of a center forward, an out-and-out center forward who can create and then score goals, get onto the end of things, can also drop deeper, play on the wing, and give Barca something to be able to work with. And that's exactly what Marc-Andre ter Stegen is looking for. And see, Abrante's friend Marcus Rashford is hungry. is angry, and you need to be very very wary of Abrante friend Marcus Rashford. He will do a lot of things for Barca in terms of how all pulling him. He looks very very hungry. When you listen to what he said about Manchester United and how the club has gone through all the stress that they've gone through now, it's very very clear. So Abrante friend Marcus Rashford is very very hungry, and he wants to make sure that at the end of the day, he becomes very, very successful at football club Barcelona. Again, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy at all. The season has properly started. And once the season has started there, over here, we'll give you the analysis. Every day, constantly, back to back to back to back. I see the best set of analysis I've been in football there. And see, I don't go nowhere. Stick and stay with us. And we'll come back with the bet codes, and of course, in the later in the day, we'll bring you the morning analysis, we'll bring you the afternoon analysis, evening analysis, 4 videos each day. I was in Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. It is all subscribing there. Please go there, go and pick up the codes, and then subscribe and give yourself a good chance at winning something. I want to say on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I'll see you, God willing, tomorrow. Until then, bye bye.